In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to tell you about a treatment for cellulite that works 100% of the time, and then I'm going to tell you about another treatment launched in 2021 that I cannot recommend, and I'll tell you why. I'm Dr. Lisa Vuich, owner of Renew Metaspa, 23B Crystal Ave in Derry, New Hampshire. This is cellulite, composed of enlarged fat cells and fibrous bands, which separate the fat cells into compartments. But with cellulite, these fibrous bands have contracted and are pulling down on the skin surface to create the dreaded dimples. Now, the gold standard treatment for cellulite is you must disrupt, which means sever or cut, these fibrotic connective tissue bands which are creating the dimples. You have to impact the bands or treatments won't work. Now, there are thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of creams on the market which will not have any lasting effect because they cannot impact the bands. And the so-called fascia blasters, supposedly going to break up those bands, actually do not do that at all. They will bruise you, but they will not disrupt those fibrous bands, so they don't work. So what does work? Well, you need to reduce fat cell size, such as with weight loss, reduce fat cell number, which we do with non-invasive body contouring treatments or liposuction. You need to improve the skin quality and collagen content, helps somewhat, but really to alter or sever the fibrous bands, Cellfina is the 100% effective solution. A Cellfina treatment begins with marking the dimples to be targeted. A plastic template with suction attached is used to stabilize the skin, while a tiny needle inserts to numb with lidocaine each dimple individually. The same template is used again to stabilize the tissue, while a tiny microblade inserts and cuts each of the fibrotic bands individually. This is entirely painless. So let's check it out at Renew.
Okay.
It takes longer to do the anesthesia than it does to do
That's what they said.
the shaker, yeah.
Okay.
So we want her very much out. Not quite.
So here is a Renew client who had a combination of dimples and loose skin, and this is a combination we see frequently. Not everything that dents is a cellulite dimple. So she underwent Profound RF for the loose skin, and you see the immediate post-procedure with swelling, and then she had Cellfina, and you can see her amazing transformation. Again, combination therapy for loose skin and cellulite. Now, not everyone has the loose skin issue, but it's very important that you be appropriately evaluated so you know your best treatment course. Cellfina is an award-winning, FDA-approved, 100% effective treatment, which has been proven to last at least 5 years. What that means is that the company submitted the proof that at 5 years, the result was still there in 100% of patients. There is some downtime with this procedure, most notably bruising, which resolves over several weeks, and you need to wear a body shape or a Spanx type garment for a couple of weeks afterwards. And here you have our amazing Cellfina team at Renew, Heather, our nurse practitioner, who would work along with one of our nurses, either Beth or Joanna or Victor, as well as a medical assistant. Now, what about Quo, an injectable treatment that was released in 2021? I don't have personal experience with it, but I'm concerned with what I'm seeing on the consumer site RealSelf. Patients reporting 3 sessions, no result. 3 sessions, no change at all. Another client, 4 months or 4.5 months later, still reporting awful staining, likely hemosiderin staining. 5 months, I'm still bruised and see no difference. Still stained 4 months later. Quo ruined my body. Post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation, they say, might disappear in a year. 6 months after 3 rounds, huge divots in my butts and thighs. Staining. Indentations look deeper. I'm done wasting my money. Extreme bruising still lingers. I would never recommend. And 3 rounds of treatment, the only thing that did not go away was my dimples. No change at all. I didn't cherry pick these reviews. Most of them read like this, unfortunately. And I'm seeing these same warnings and issues talked about on our social media injectors groups, so this is very concerning to me. Quo is a bacteria-derived enzyme called collagenase, which breaks down or dissolves collagen. The problem is you can't tell the collagenase which collagen you want it to destroy and which collagen you want it to spare. Each dimple is injected from 3 different directions on 3 separate occasions. If the injected collagenase gets too close to the surface, you can get a divot or skin atrophy and possibly hyperpigmentation. Because the collagenase also affects the blood vessel wall collagen, you get leakage of blood, which leads to bruising, and if severe, hemosiderin staining, which is very difficult to treat. Remember, this diagram is quite simplistic. These bands are not clean little singular columns of tissue, but probably a lot more complex. And I think a big part of the issue too might be lack of tissue stabilization during the injection. As you recall with Cellulite, we have that vacuum suction, holding the tissue in place, assuring an even and adequate depth of treatment. And that microblade acts in a reciprocating fashion, like windshield wiper blades, back and forth, so no matter how thick that band is, it's going to be cut. I do hope you found this video helpful. You can contact us at www.renewmetaspa.com or call us at 603-894-0070, and we do offer free consultations.